Okay, great. So does everybody have a pretty good understanding of the conditionals, the first conditionals, and the rules that we need to know for using them in English conversation? Okay, any questions before we move on? Awesome. Okay, so please pull out your books and let's turn to page 87. 87. So you'll see at the top of the page, there's a little box that explains a couple of the different conditionals. So we've already talked about the first conditionals. So that is something that is likely to happen, such as you guys studying English. Very likely to happen, obviously, as you are here studying English. So again, the rule for that is we have if, then a simple present verb, and then followed by will, and then again, simple present verb. Okay, so I'm going to give everybody a little slip of paper, and on each of these pieces of paper, there is a part of a conditional sentence. So each sentence has two parts, which means that everybody will have either the first part of the sentence or the second part of the same sentence. So your job will be to find your partner based on what your paper says. Okay, so everybody gets a slip of paper. Good. So now let's look at number 1. So please put up your hand if you have the first part of sentence number 1. Okay, good. Mark, what does your piece of paper say? So if I lose my wallet. So if I lose, simple present, my wallet, what will happen? Who has the second part of this sentence? Okay, Janet, good. What does your piece of paper say? Yes, I will have to call the credit card company. Okay, good. Do you guys, excuse me, do you guys agree? Do you think that those make a good match? Yes, very good. So if I lose my wallet, we don't want to do that very badly, but if you do, what do you have to do? So your credit card's in there, people can get a hold of your card and spend all your money, so you have to call the credit card company. Okay, so we've got Mark and Janet are a partnership. But before you guys get together, I just want to ask a question. Can we put Janet before Mark? Can we say, I will have to call the credit card company if I lose my wallet? Yes, we can. So that's totally fine. Either way is perfectly acceptable. So really, we don't have to change very much at all. If you are writing the sentence and you start with the I will part of the sentence, then we don't need the comma in the middle. So I will have to call the credit card company if I lose my wallet. Just one straight sentence. When you start with the if I lose my wallet, then you will need to use the comma. So pause, I will have to call the credit card company. Okay, that's the only difference that you would need to kind of pay attention to. Okay, so number 2, who has the first part of number 2? Okay, good. What does your slip of paper say? You will get lost in Seoul. Good. Okay, so who thinks that they have the second part? Okay, good. What does your slip of paper say? Okay, interesting. So, if you take, the express train. Okay, so you'll get lost in Seoul if you take the express train. Do you guys agree? Is this correct? So this one is actually a little bit tricky. So this could actually be correct. So if you take the express train, maybe you don't know where you're going. I have been in that situation. I have taken the express train when I didn't mean to, and I don't even know where I ended up. So you definitely can get lost in Seoul if you take the express train or if you take the wrong train. However, there is one sentence part that fits in here a little bit better than this lost in Seoul. Does anybody have the second part to that sentence? You, what does yours say? If you, same sentence, so we don't need to capitalize that. If you don't speak Korean. Okay, again, this has happened to me. So yes, obviously if you speak Korean, it's not as likely that you will get lost in Seoul. If you don't speak Korean, you could pretty easily get lost in Seoul. So yes, those are the two parts of the sentence that go together. So you guys can get together. Okay, number 3. Who has the first part of number 3? Okay, good. Can you read the part of sentence on your slip? So you will arrive at your destination faster. Okay, so we already heard the second part to this sentence. So again, if you take the express train. So you can see there, you will arrive at your destination faster if you take the express train. So that is what the express train is for. So we know that those two parts of the sentence go together. So remember, how can we switch it around? So we don't have to start with you will arrive. We can start with if. So remember, if you take the express train, comma, you will arrive at your destination faster. Good. So you two are partners. Number 4, who has number 4? So if a tourist loses his passport, what will happen? Who has the second part? You. Good. He will not be able to leave the country. Awesome. So you guys are partners. You guys can get together. And number 5, finally, the very last one, who has the first part? And can you read that out for me, please? Airfare will be cheaper. And who has the second part? Good. And can you read out your piece of paper? If you book the tickets in advance. Good. So airfare will be cheaper if you book the tickets in advance, or if you book the tickets in advance, airfare will be cheaper. Okay? You guys are partners, so you guys can get together. Now, in your groups of 2, I want you guys to work together to do the second part of this exercise. So now we're talking about our second conditionals. So these are things that are not likely to happen. So as an example, I can say, if I were 7 feet tall. How tall do you guys think I am? Do you think I'm 7 feet? No? Not even close? Yeah, no, not even close. So I am, I don't, like 5'3" or something. I'm short. Is it very likely that I will wake up tomorrow and be 7 feet tall? No, unfortunately, I'm stuck at whatever I'm at. So if I were 7 feet tall. So what do you guys think? If I were, or you were, 7 feet tall, what do you think is something that would be different about your life? Okay, good. Mark, what do you think? Okay, if I were 7 feet tall, awesome, yeah, you would be a really good basketball player, right? So if I were 7 feet tall, I would be a great basketball player. Yes, height helps a lot with basketball. So this is, again, we're talking about something that is not likely to happen. I am not ever going to be 7 feet tall. You are not ever going to be 7 feet tall. So in this situation, the second conditionals, then we actually use the past. That's just a rule. That's the way it goes. So if I were 7 feet tall, then we use the would and then simple present. Okay, so the main difference between the first conditional and the second conditional is the first verb. So we're using the past. So you might hear sometimes in English conversation, if I were you. We use that quite often. So if something is unlikely, I cannot be you, I'm me. So if I were 7 feet tall, if I were you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so in your groups, I want you guys to finish exercise number 2 with the second conditionals. And remember the rules that we have. It's listed at the top of the page as well. Okay?